Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 69. Very special episode of the Post 20 podcast. My name is Evan. I'm joined, as always, by my co host, Matt. What's going on this week?
Not much, just vibing. Light work week. Just slowly preparing for all the shoebies and that to come down the shore. So gonna double up on packages, and my days are gonna become even longer.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's kind of brutal.
Yeah, it'll be earlier wake up calls and later clock out times. But
More
I mean,
more dollars or no?
100%, man. Be
That's
getting
worth
that,
it.
gonna get that fat overtime, bro. It's gonna be like Christmas.
Yeah, I mean that's totally worth it then. Just got to
Yeah,
stack that summertime bread, and.
it's like any other job around here. Like summertime is when everybody makes that buku money.
Yeah, true. Um, I haven't really done much this week. I mean,
Not
there's
enough golf.
no, bro, I can't play because it's been so fucking shit outside. Like it was freezing, and then
Tomorrow, man, 75.
yeah, and thunderstorms.
I thought that's only in the morning.
I don't know if the course is gonna be soaking wet, I won't play. I'm just kind of waiting for shit to dry out again. I
Ooh,
can't stand playing in the rain.
Sunday's looking similar, 90% thunderstorms. Saturday, 66 and clear.
Yeah, maybe Saturday I'll manage to get out. Like,
But you're gonna have a lot of people with you though,
oh,
probably.
I'm sure it'll be the courses will be soaking wet too, no matter where I choose to play. And season's about to start, so it's just gonna busy is just the way that it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I don't have an issue. I play pretty quick golf. I'm not a slow golfer. Slow golfers annoy me typically. So I doesn't really matter, and I let anybody play through if for some reason they are in a crazy hurry. Um, but other than that, I mean, I just did homework. I spent today writing a research paper. 2 days ago, writing a research paper, and a couple days before that, I wrote another research paper. I mean, I'm just at this point now where I'm trying to get everything done now, so that when it's really nice in April and I'm starting to get called back to work, and I want to be outside or on the beach or whatever, as long as it's warm. I just kind of want to make sure that I have all that shit. Like I'm ahead, and
Yeah.
I mean I'm writing a final paper on March 25th. That's not due until May 2nd. So I think it's a
Hey,
good thing. I think
you're one of those rare students that just does it way ahead of the game. So when like everybody else procrastinated, they're doing it the final week, you're just chilling,
yeah,
doing
well,
your own thing.
like everybody else wants to fucking kill themselves the last week. So
Yeah.
I would much
That's
rather
kind of how
spread
I
it.
did it.
Yeah, it's just that's always how I've done my work in college. I wasn't that way in high school, strangely, but when I got to college, even to community college, I just felt like they give you so much time, honestly, to do the assignments that you should just do them.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Yeah,
as soon as they assign you.
I was always looking forward to karaoke night on Thursdays at our local bar.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so we'll get into the games. There wasn't a ton of games. There were only four that qualify for our discussion, and then we got just a couple other quick things that we'll talk about before we round off the show. It'll probably be a short one, but that's all right. The first match took place on March 19th, 6 days ago now. Jesus, doesn't feel like it was that long ago. I want some money on this game. Fulham 1, Leeds 2. Leeds struck first with a Patrick Bamford goal in the 29th. Wasn't sure if he'd be playing, but he seemed to be pretty sharp. He looked okay. Joaquim Anderson got one back before the stroke of halftime in the 38th. And then Rafinha, who has been as sharp as ever, really, this season, got one back in the 58th to steal all 3 points for Leeds. You have anything to say about this game? I thought it was actually a pretty fun watch.
Yeah, I thought this game was evenly matched. You had two newly promoted clubs who, throughout this whole season, you would say looked like pretty much established Premier League mid-table teams at times. But yeah, I thought this was a fun game to watch. You saw guys like Bamford obviously score and shine. Rafinha, like you said, creative, and he's hot right now.
Yeah.
Lookman had a few chances. He was enjoying the left side of the field. He did pretty well. Uh, Haven't been seeing Loftus-Cheek as much. He's been coming off the bench, not getting as many starts from Scotty P. Interesting there. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a good game. We both did pick leads in this. Started out our week our 1-0.
Mhm.
Unfortunate for Scott in the table because he's losing opportunities to hop a team like Newcastle, who we're going to talk about next. It's absolutely putrid. Um, it's absolutely unbelievable how many breaks Newcastle is getting because
It's so bad.
Fulham are playing decent teams and losing. I'm looking here now. You lose 3-0 to Man City. You lose 2-1 to a Leeds side. You lose 1-0 to a Tottenham side. And then you got a big win against Liverpool.
Mhm.
So that was a very tough run of games for them. And they still have a couple more, like with Man United, Chelsea, and Arsenal still to play. But there's a few cupcakes in there on paper for them. I mean, we both keep saying it. We definitely think they're going to stay up over Newcastle. And they do play each other the last week of the season. So. And they're gonna have fans back, so
Yeah.
that game might be the game you want to watch the last week of the season.
Yeah, there's this thing that I've been thinking about, like, Fulham hit their stride in the worst possible time period. That
Yeah,
win against Liverpool, if they would have had, 2 or 3 mid-table or maybe, like, lower on the table teams to play after they played Liverpool, I think they would have won all 3 games, but instead,
yeah,
they got stuck playing, like, the top 6 clubs, or at least clubs that are in the top half of the table, and
right.
they even managed to continue some of that momentum, but they couldn't carry it through, and obviously get all the points that they needed. It's just unfortunate. Like, I will feel so bad if Fulham goes down. One, because we kind of, like, we kind of like Fulham. I think they play an interesting style of football, very solid now. And I liked watching them kind of evolve. You don't see a team evolve and get sharp typically in a season where they just get promoted. Like, Leicester is a good example of a team that got super sharp, super quick. But Fulham, this linear progression, I really enjoyed, and I really hope they don't go down because I want to see what they would be like next season.
I think Wolves is another team similar to that
That's
point
yeah,
because their first 2 seasons they finished seventh. Obviously, it's a whole different team now with injuries and not getting and selling a few of their star players from previous seasons. So, yeah, I think Fulham definitely deserves to stay up. Fingers crossed. There's a lot of games left. Still 8 weeks ago. Just a lot of football left to be played.
yeah, that's the truth. All right, we will move on to that next game that we were talking about. Brighton 3, Newcastle 0. Matt and I watched this game live up until the third goal and then shut it off because it was an absolute bloodbath.
You could use the term "watched" lightly there.
Yeah, I mean, it was, we kind of watched it. I think we were both just off that day.
W- Yeah, we were in it on the first half. Second half, we were talking about trading cards and like sports cards and talking about all that the whole time. I was looking at Yu-Gi-Oh cards, trying to scrounge up some like gems.
That's true. I actually forgot about that. But anyway, yeah, Brighton 3, Newcastle 0. Trossard got one right before the stroke of halftime in stoppage time. Welbeck added one right after they resumed play, and then Mopai got the. Uh, my brain just fucking exploded.
Yeah, hit the third
What?
nail in the coffin.
Nail
Just
in the coffin.
absolutely sealed
That's
their deal.
that's what it was. I was gonna say fork in the meat, and that's just not a saying. It's just not a thing. So nail in the coffin. Stuck a fork in him is the saying, not
There you go.
fork in
There
the
you go.
meat. What the fuck is that?
You're just hungry. Food's on the brain.
I am. I'm eating. I'm actually eating
Some meat.
pork tenderloin this evening. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I see.
Put it in a little soy teriyaki marinade. Pretty excited. Um,
Damn.
so let's get down to the nitty and gritty of this game. Newcastle are fucking atrocious. I mean, they are just horrible. They may have had 1 or 2 chances where I felt like they, could have actually made something of it, but they're just so flat. And we've witnessed Brighton start to become a little bit more flat in the midpoint and towards this, like, falling action part of the season. But Newcastle are just in a totally different bracket of dog shit. They are so bad.
Yeah, I mean, stat-wise, Brighton controlled the game in shots, possession, passing, all over the place. even on corners, like every statistical comparison they did better at. And I mean, it comes with the style of play. Brighton have a similar style to how Fulham kind of play. Difference is they'll play three in the back at times. They gave a rare start to this Motor guy, a Polish guy they had. He did all right on the left wing, but when you have they had goals from all three of their front three guys in there, and when you have Danny Welbeck scoring on you, you know you have serious problems. Positives though for Newcastle, Miguel Almiron did come back from injury in this game. Unfortunately, though, with one coming back, one had to go out on
Oh
injury.
yeah,
Isaac Hayden had a horrific knee injury.
yeah.
Good news is I'm seeing is he will not require surgery, but he will be out the remainder of the season. So that's good news for him. Not needing surgery, and the rehab process is always mentally draining. So that's good news for him. But Newcastle as a club, they really, really need St. Maximin and Wilson to really finish up on this recovery. I'm looking here now that they are potentially due back for their next game for Easter weekend on the 3rd or 4th, whichever day they play.
Hmm.
So I think the end of the season is going to be interesting to watch. Top four finish and relegation battle. That's always how it usually finishes out because every other season you'd say there's a clear champion, like winner of the season. There's always a big gap, and it comes down to who's going to close out those top four spots in Europa League, and then you flip it to the bottom side, who's going to get relegated.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious to see how everything pans out still. We know City obviously are going to win the league, but the bottom half of the table is where my attention is really. Do you think Brighton will continue this kind of like little bit of a resurgence they've had? Because they've looked a little bit sharper the past couple weeks, especially in this game.
Yeah, 2 wins in a row over teams you would say they deserve to beat, Newcastle and Southampton. Previously, they didn't have two good games, losing to Leicester late. They gave up the early lead, and then dropping absolutely all 3 points against Big Sam is absolutely unforgivable.
Yeah.
So they're kind of topsy-turvy right now. Right now, they're on the ups, obviously, 2 big wins. Now they have to play Man United, who right now is second in the table, I believe. Let me look at that. No, they're in third, right behind United by 1 point.
Hmm.
Still, Leicester's playing really well this season, but United right now, big Europa League win. They move on, as well as Arsenal. Paul Pogba scoring. He's back now, so that should be interesting to their dynamic, how much better they play, how that dynamic duo that you love, Pogba and Fernandez, if they can still be prolific in front of the goal. I do see Man United beating them. I just don't think Brighton's form's consistent enough, and that's their number one problem is goals. You did say in the live stream Mupai is inconsistent, attitude issues. I said Welbeck's got injury issues, and the other guys are kind of role players, and they'll have some moments, but we'll have to wait and see if they can score in the big game here.
Yeah. Yeah, we will have to see as we move forward. Not long now, only 8 weeks. You said a lot of football to play. There is a lot of football to play, but
Hmm.
yeah, only 8 more weeks. Next one, Aston Villa 0, Tottenham 2. Carlos Vinicius scored in this one to open the scoring, and then Kane kind of put the fork in them.
Yeah.
There you go. How about that? In the 68th with a penalty. I thought this game was a little bit more evenly matched than I would have expected. I don't remember if I picked Tottenham. I think I did. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we went opposite here. We went opposite here. You went with Spurs, and I thought took Villa upset.
yeah, so no Grealish still in this one.
Yeah.
I just don't think that they have a lot of they're missing so much without Grealish. He seems to kind of open everybody else up and make everybody feel like it's okay to play in a dynamic style. And I
Hmm.
think when you're missing him and you're putting other players in that don't get necessarily a ton of time, you kind of just you surrender some of your ability to win. And there's not a whole lot of structure in this Villa side when we compare to some of the earlier teams that they put out, and I just think Tottenham put out a better lineup here.
Yeah, their midfield's really been lacking without Grealish. Like you said, there's a big disconnection, like a big disconnect, I should say, with between Watkins and the midfield without Grealish because he was the connector between the midfield build up to him, and now he's kind of a lone striker up there with no help. And Morgan Sanson got a start in the middle. Their new signing from I think Marseille. He came from.
Yep.
He didn't do too bad. Not very good, but he did all right. Trezeguet got a start out there. Traore. At times, those guys were in form, but now they're kind of eat like half and half out there. Barkley off the bench. El Ghazi coming for I thought Konza and Mings did well in there at times. I think they're a good partnership and a good core for them, as well as Martinez. He's kind of been a breakout star the past 2 seasons after leaving Arsenal. He's really had his career pick up
Yeah.
since that move. One thing I'll say, Matty Cash got absolutely exposed on the wing. I
Yeah,
was
he
just
got
watching
he
the
got
highlights.
fried.
I was watching the highlights before we started recording, and
He got
Luke
fried.
Lucas just put him in the pan and diced him up, making a cheesesteak. Man, he just got he. It was one of those moments Messi against Boateng. If you guys remember that from
Yeah.
the Champions League, like he dropped him on the floor. He just had an absolute bad one, and then he took Harry Kane out, which he absolutely was unnecessary. The ball's clearly going out of bounds for a goal kick for Villa, and he just takes his legs, and it's just like one of those mental lapses you have where it's just really unforgivable, and that sealed the deal for him. And I thought this Spurs lineup was kind of mediocre. They had random guys in there like Tangana and Rodon in there. Lo Celso, he's kind of been inconsistent in there for starts. And yeah, like you said, Vinicius got in there and got his first goal in the Premier League. He was really happy. His goal celebration, he looked like he was going to break the post when he smacked it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was pretty even. Spurs big win keeps them up in the table. I think they're in sixth place right now, right behind West Ham. So gonna be interesting to see if they can hold that spot down or not. But like we keep saying, interesting, and I'm really excited about this Arsenal team moving forward. We're gonna talk about it next.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll move on to them. West Ham 3, Arsenal 3. I mean, we were on the golf course for this game, I think. No. I was on the golf course.
Yeah, you were.
I was on the golf course with my brother. Lingard scored in the 15th, Bowen in the 17th, Souček in the 32nd. I thought this game was chalked.
Yeah.
3-0 before the half. I mean, it was over. When the Bowen goal went in, I was certain that the game was over. And somehow, by the grace of God, there was 2 own goals, and then Lacazette brought one back in the 82nd to secure 1 point for Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal didn't even play that bad was the thing. Their defense was just terrible. It was just bad. It reminded me of some like old Arsenal, like 2 or 3 seasons ago when there was just no stability there. And, I mean, Arsenal had 16 to West Ham's 15 shots, 7 to their 5 shots on target, and dominated possession. Their pass accuracy was better. They had more passes. They were more lively. They knocked the ball around. Arsenal outperformed West Ham. They just didn't outfinish them. And, you know, like I said, by the grace of God, 2 own goals managed to keep us in the game. West Ham, I bet, absolutely kicking themselves. I'm sure that Moyes isn't happy with how they let that game pan out.
Yeah, I thought from the start after seeing that Moyes put a great team out there, good tactically. They were tactically set up well. Diop kind of been iffy for starts, but he did a decent job in there. Souček, I thought was kind of cheesy. He stole Antonio's goal. I watched the celebration after. Lingard went to celebrate with Antonio, and you could just see on his face, he was like, I just can't believe. He was just pointing to Souček. He was like, he scored, bro. He scored, mate. He scored.
Yeah.
He was so mad, but I mean, being up 3-0 up against Arsenal like that in the form they were in was a good sign for them. And then, like you said, the comeback, man, just 2 own goals, and then Lacazette had an absolute day.
Yeah.
That guy was popping off. And then Mikel's substitution choices, he was all in with Pepe, Smith Rowe, and Martinelli, all attacking subs. He wanted this win so bad.
Yeah,
And
which I love.
I know that's what you want to see out of your manager that just pushed all the chips in, and he's like, let's fucking go. I mean, we have this is our best chance to climb up the table. I mean, they're only what is that, 7 points behind West Ham in that 5th place spot, and they still have 9 games to go. Plenty of opportunities for them to get back in there. I mean, should be interesting next Saturday against Liverpool. Very, very interesting matchup. And then you throw in both legs against Slavia Prague.
Yeah.
in the Europa League. That should be interesting. And then we got Sheffield and Fulham. So a lot of games that Arsenal could win, and with Liverpool's form, maybe they should win. But I really liked watching this game back. I couldn't see it live, but watching the highlights, like you could just feel
There's
that
energy.
there was like an atmosphere about it that
Hmm.
if there were fans there, it'd have been absolutely nuts.
Yeah. And like there is a structure to this Arsenal team that I'm starting to see. Like having Odegaard in the center and Thomas
Had great
behind
moments.
him and Saka off on the left. Like I'm starting to feel something. I think with one or well, really two good center back signings,
Yeah, that's what I
um,
was gonna say.
that this could be a really, really good team. And you're probably gonna see Lacazette leave, unfortunately. Um,
Right.
and he's really probably earned himself an extension because he's been fantastic as of late, much more dependable than Aubameyang. Um,
Yeah.
but if you can get them both firing, on all cylinders, keep Odegaard there, Xhaka playing, a much improved game, and then having that structure otherwise in the midfield and going forward with Saka, like this team could be actually pretty solid. And I'm just hoping that things stay the same and we keep Martinelli and Smith Rowe because they've been really well. Martinelli has a lot of promise, but Smith Rowe has been really good.
Yeah, you always need the youngsters off the bench, kinda, or like some academy grown guys in there, like Smith. Is Smith Rowe like through the academy?
I don't know if we got him from another academy or if he's from Arsenal's academy, but I'm fairly certain that he's from the Arsenal academy.
Okay, well, and what do you think about goalkeeper? Are you all right with Leno, or do you
No,
think you need to be on the market?
we probably need to be on the market for somebody young. I don't think that Leno's done yet, but I think um he probably is and like approaching that area where he needs to move on.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. You guys, the center backs is a good point. You've always needed a strong leader back there,
Ever
and I don't
since
know.
Koscielny left.
Yeah, and he had his iffy moments towards the end of his career, but he was a solid trooper for the time he was there.
Yeah. By the way, England versus San Marino is now at 3-0, so
In the
they're
first half,
they're not quite on pace to break the 6.5
is that in the first or second half?
first half.
Oh, that's all right.
Halftime 4 minutes ago. So yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. All right. Let's move on to what were we gonna talk about? Do you remember?
Yeah, I pulled up this article
Oh
beforehand.
yeah, yeah.
There was some power rankings on the top 10 teams in Europe currently, across the five power. To- I can't even talk. The five power leagues, whatever you want to call them. I'm like talking like we're in the NCAA basketball like power conferences,
Yeah.
just the top leagues. So right now, this guy has Leicester City at 10th in Europe right now. They get a big 3-1 win over United in the FA Cup. We didn't touch on that. The draw right now has Leicester City playing Southampton and Chelsea, unfortunately, drawing Manchester City.
Pain.
Yeah, that's always pain. I thought we could do the double luck of the draw, like in the Champions League with Porto, but wasn't meant to be. I still think we'll have a good chance over City. I'm really, really into this team. I don't know about. I'm really interested in seeing what Tuchel does when we don't have possession of the ball as much because his whole style is having like 70% of the ball
Yeah.
and Pep's style is similar. So it'll be interesting to see what team has more possession and how that affects the game and their style of play. But yeah, just one thing there. But Leicester City in 10th, Atletico Madrid ninth. They are surprisingly in the top, or I should say first in La Liga right now, 4 points clear of second, even though they crashed out of the Champions League, falling to Chelsea. Ajax eighth. They are closing in on their 35th league title in history. That's crazy. PSG in seventh. Those guys playing extremely well with Mbappe cruising in the Champions League. Real Madrid sixth. Chelsea fifth. Barcelona fourth. Shout out Serginho Dest. Had a great day in the international friendly against Jamaica. Scored an absolute worldie for his first career international goal. Bayern Munich surprisingly third. Those guys cruising in the Bundesliga. Inter Milan, who would have thought? Built a little project there. They're first in Serie A. This guy has them second. And in first, shockingly, Manchester City. Are there any teams that stand out to you in that top 10? that you think should be higher up, or maybe not in that, or do you think there's a team that was left out?
I mean, Barca and Madrid suck ass. They are
Yeah,
terrible. They're both horrendous. I mean,
yeah,
if we're considering their achievements in Europe, fine. I understand they both have to be in there. But if we're going on current form in
yeah.
La Liga,
That's what it's. This is just currently in all
I
competitions.
mean
It's
that
not.
that is absolute drug fueled nonsense. There is no way. I might hear the Barca thing. I'm not hearing the Madrid thing right now. I know they're still left in the Champions League, but they're not good. They're not a
Yeah,
good side.
yeah, I totally agree. They
And
left out.
Leicester too. That's insane.
Yeah, I was surprised because Leipzig's doing pretty well in whatchamacallit, the Bundesliga. I think they're in second right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me check that.
There,
Leipzig
there's some
stand.
crazy ones on there actually. I
Yeah, I don't. I think Inter Milan's a shocking one
yeah,
because
two, I think that's bold.
like they're crushing it in Serie A with Antonio Conte.
Yeah.
Like he's done what he did at Chelsea,
Yeah.
but stretching it long term. Like
Right.
he's made for Italian football because he is Italian, and like maybe the media's not as crazy there. I
Yeah.
mean, that was one thing when he was at Chelsea.
He
Like,
couldn't handle that.
yeah, he was a very emotional guy, like heart on his sleeve
Yeah.
type manager, and like you love to see that, like him celebrating with the fans, but at times there needs to be like some sort of professionalism, or like you need to take constructive criticism well at times, and maybe you can take that. Oh, I also saw Diego Costa is accepting a free transfer to Benfica, so his career is going on the down even further now.
I
Uh,
am so glad that this happened after Arsenal played them.
yeah.
I'm so happy. I fucking hate Diego Costa so much, dude.
Would you say he's like on your top five all
Oh,
time hated list?
it's easily. I mean,
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, Leipzig's only 4 points behind Bayern in La Liga, or in the Bundesliga right now. Like they have been a team that's in the past 5 years has just come out of nowhere. Maybe that's from the Red Bull money and all that, but
Yeah.
they have a side there that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Great talent development there. And where you just said like the top five most hated players. I'd say look, it's probably four American players and then one, and then Diego Costa.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of times where you've seen players in America and like key moments that just fuck it, and you're like, I just can't forgive that.
Like Wondolowski and
Oh
Michael
my,
Bradley.
oh
I
my,
mean,
yeah.
both of
You're
those
taking
guys
me
can
back.
rest in piss, dude.
You're taking me back 2014 against Belgium,
We
bro. Oh
we watched that game together.
that shit was fucking whack, man. I can't believe Wondolowski missed that.
Fucking kneaded over the bar.
That's
Just putrid.
I mean, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, but Chelsea being fifth is I'm okay with that because like they're not doing
That's
anything
fine.
crazy. They're not like winning every single week. Like they're still unbeaten in 14 games. Probably could be coming up, could be breaking against City in the FA Cup or even Porto. I don't know what to expect from Porto because they're an interesting team that tactically they can be set. I'm leaning more on the side of Juve's overrated, and like Porto beating them is just because they rely so heavily on Ronaldo at times, and everybody else is kind of mid-road kind of talent-wise, and they can't really fully express themselves because when you have an icon of the game on your team, like you're not, there's always going to be pressure for you to give it to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And I think that's kind of what hurts Juve. They used to play like a kind of a team style, and
Yeah,
now that you have Ronaldo there, things have changed. I mean, I'm not gonna say that he's not incredibly talented. He still is, and he's got a lot of gas left in the tank.
yeah,
I
of
just don't
course.
necessarily know if he even fits there. Like, I really, it doesn't really make any sense to me why he's still there. I feel like he'd even be playing better if he went back to Madrid.
Yeah, I think that Madrid will 100% take him back with open arms.
I think they're gonna try to.
Yeah, well, I don't know how Ronaldo feels personally, but I don't think it's about the money anymore.
No.
If I was him, because he's already set himself up for life and for his next 3 generations to be fine with his hotel business, like his underwear, whatever. He has so many different
Yeah.
sponsorships and partnerships, and he's invested so much into different things. Like, he has a good team around him,
Yeah.
and his agent's like the biggest agent in the world for sports in general.
Yeah.
So like he has a good team around him. So I don't think it's about if I was him, I don't think it'd be about the money. I think it's about where can I win.
It's got to be winning and legacy.
Exactly. He's just trying to cement himself as one of the best of all time, and he's doing a pretty good job at that.
Yeah.
Uh, other than that, what else was I gonna say?
We were talking about the U.S. We wanted to talk
Uh,
about that quickly.
oh yeah, the 4-1 win over Jamaica. Yeah,
Yeah.
Josh Sargent. They've been saying Greg Berhalter, the current U.S. manager right now, has been really pushing for Sargent to break out as the main striker and cement himself in that position, and I totally agree with that
Mm.
because there was one other striker on that full team today on the roster, and he was I looked at him. He plays for the Young Boys in Switzerland. I didn't really know too much about him, but
Right.
he's putting a lot of faith into him, and like he was doing great off ball runs. He was working well. The number one thing I saw was the tiki taka in close spaces in the final third between Gio Reyna, Pulisic, um, Sargent, and then who else they had? That Musa. That Musa
Yeah.
got to play for Valencia.
Yunus Musa.
Yeah, he was great to watch,
Yeah, he's electric.
and there were three MLS guys in there too as well. Aaron Long,
Mm-hmm.
key center back in there. You had Kellen Acosta in the middle. He's a great box to box guy. Never runs out of energy. And then you had what's his name? Legend something. He had 2 goals today. He did well. He plays for the Galaxy. That guy's been pretty well too.
Yeah.
So they have a really good core team. I mean, Zach Steffen, there was one moment where they played the ball back to him and he fucking like scuffed it and went up for
Yeah.
a corner. I was like, yo, what you good, Zach?
Yeah. I
Like,
think John Brooks is a fucking donkey too at this point.
really?
Yeah, I think he's a little bit out to pasture, but he'll probably do for the World Cup, and then we need a new one.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't see Matt Miazga anywhere near any talks of that
I
team
know,
anymore.
bro. He's got to be better than John Brooks, though. Well, where's he
He's
even
a
playing?
I don't even fucking know. I can't even
Does
like
Chelsea
tell you.
still own him, or?
I'm looking it up right now. He says he's currently playing for Anderlecht in the Belgian league.
Yeah, there you go. He's from Clifton, New Jersey, born and raised, baby.
Glasgow. Uh,
Um,
he's currently valued at $2.2 million.
yeah, Chelsea still own him since 2016. They have owned him.
He's always had like an attitude issue too, though.
Yeah, he's
Like
25.
he's been a big hothead. He's a year older than me. Shit.
Yeah. He made one national team appearance for the Poland U18s in 2012. Did you know that?
Jesus, we literally don't have any clear Americans, bro.
No, none. Absolutely none. Because the guys that are clear Americans are not playing soccer. They're playing other sports.
Brendan Aronson got a goal today too. Shout out to him. Past Union player. What an absolute gem.
Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, he is absolutely
I love
unreal.
seeing guys like him succeed. Assist from Josh Sargent.
Yeah. That's another New Jersey native, Medford.
Yeah, his dad is like the lead guy for the Medford club team up there.
Yep.
Like he runs the yeah, like that's huge. They're a fucking tough team to play. My
The
U18
Bob E.
played.
Bendy. That's where they play. Bob Bendy Park. I used to drive by it when I went to Morgan's.
That's fucking.
I know it's a strange thing to
That's
know,
funny.
but yeah. I remember playing there as a kid, and when the first time I went up to Morgan's house, she's like, "Oh yeah, here's the directions," and I drove past it, and I was like, oh, "Holy shit, dude! She lives right by Bob Bendy."
What
That's
a
a
throwback.
turf field up there. You remember that in Medford or no?
Yeah, I haven't been up there in a long time. I haven't had the dot. I can't even talk. I haven't had the opportunity to go up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, other than that, we play Northern Ireland Sunday. That should be interesting to see
yeah, I'm excited.
what choices the lineups are because of uh, the short time between people playing for their clubs again on the weekends and guys having to travel back to their clubs and get into training. So that should be interesting to see what minutes Pulisic and Aronson those guys get. And I mean, because the whole squad is mostly European, and I think that's fully due to the COVID restrictions because the game was played in Austria.
Yeah,
So I think that has to do heavily with the team selection for there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see in specifically Pulisic and how many minutes he gets because we play West Brom on next Saturday, and next Saturday, and That's a game we have to win because it's against Big Sam, and I fucking hate that guy mainly due to them losing money on him, and also with like he was brought in specifically to keep them up, and he's not gonna do it. So hopefully we can bury them in relegation. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I totally feel you on that one. All right, that's pretty much it, right? That's all we were going to talk about for today, I think.
Yeah, pretty much that we had planned.
Yeah. Um, Short episode. We haven't done a 35-minute John in like forever, but not a whole lot of stuff going on, obviously, with the Premier League taking a week off for international break and what have you. But we'll see you next week, I guess. We'll have quite a few games to preview. Because those games are, I think the first game is on the 3rd for next week, which is Saturday.
Yep, some juicy matchups already. I'm looking at them now.
Yeah, Arsenal taking on Liverpool next weekend. I'm pretty excited. We'll see if anything develops in the next week or so that we have a more accurate read on the situations. So in the time between then and now, hope you all take care of yourselves. Make sure you guys interact with us on social media. It's been quiet. I think Matt and I have both been super busy. But I'll be back at it. Starting with NBA stuff and stuff like that. So yep, on social media, post20pod, Twitter, Instagram, what have you, and then obviously on all of our podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, and there's one that I'm missing, but oh well.
Spotify,
I said Spotify. Maybe I'm not missing them. Anyway.
YouTube.
Oh, and YouTube. That's the other thing. We record all the episodes now, so check us out on YouTube. No live stream this week because there's no games on the weekend. But yeah, thank you guys all for the support as always. Matt, is there anything for you to say? Sorry.
Yep, just thank you guys so much for watching or listening. I'm gonna get a big fat cheesesteak ready on the fly. I'm starving. Had an early day from work. Hopefully you guys have a great week, a great weekend, and yeah. Other than that, thank you.
All right, take care, guys.